Hey guys, how's it going? Sorry I haven't made any videos in a while. I was on vacation, went down to Florida, saw my family and some friends, but hopefully I'll be able to make some more regular videos, keep putting them out for you guys. Today I just want to talk about something that I have been asked quite a bit, and it's kind of hard to answer since everybody's experience is going to be a little different, but it's what is life like in the Marine Corps as an active duty Marine? Like, what do you do day to day? And I mean, something that to me is a big question to answer just because yes, everybody wants to know about boot camp and what am I going to do in boot camp and is it going to be hard, but realistically, boot camp is a very, very small part of your Marine Corps experience, and the rest of it is going to be what either makes or breaks you, I guess. But like I said, it's different for each individual person. It's going to be different just because everybody's job is different, really. I mean, there's hundreds of different jobs you can get in the Marine Corps or any branch of the military, so I can give my perspective and I can share a little bit on what I've seen from other people. Uh, First off, your job determines a whole lot how your life is going to be. Some people have jobs like the administration jobs where they sit behind a desk 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and that's really their life. It's just like a normal person's desk job, except for they have to take the military classes and they also have to work out every morning for the most part and things like that really nothing changes for them other than from a normal job, other than that they have to work out and they're expected to keep certain physical standards and have to take certain classes. But as far as me, I was with engineers most of the time doing utilities work also, so and I actually spent about half the time working on the range as a shooting instructor. Each individual unit, even if you have the same job, is going to be completely different. My first unit, we would go to, it was in Okinawa, Japan. We'd go to a different island or country or whatever it may be. About every other month, we'd go for a month or two. Then we'd come back, get our gear ready. But we'd basically do it, it was simulated war deployment. You know, we'd go out and play war games with other countries, and it was really cool. It was really tiring, and we got to travel a lot and see a lot of cool things, but you were tired every time you went. That was, at least for us, we'd set up everything just like we were setting up a little operation site for deployment, and we'd go through everything just like it was an actual war. And then we'd tear down, come back home, fix all our gear, and go out. From there, after that, I went to school to be a shooting instructor. So the school was pretty short. Once I actually started working for the range, either you're teaching classes as a shooting instructor, which that's a really easy life. Most of the days you get off by 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and it's half indoors, half outdoors. Some days it's bad if it's bad weather, but it's really easy if you're teaching classes. You teach like 5 days a week and have almost every weekend off. Then if you're working on the range, which I spent a lot of time on the actual range, that was most of the time I spent as a shooting instructor. Your days are really long and really tiring, but I had a blast. It was amazing. I had to be on the road by 3 every morning, and I didn't get home until like 5 or 6 at night on average, except for Fridays. But I did have a lot of days off where I'd just have to go in, do a couple classes, and, you know, I'd probably get off by noon if there wasn't a range going on that week. So, but yeah, all I had to do was teach people to shoot all day, and it was a long day, but it was a whole lot of fun. After that, I went to a unit in North Carolina, and I really, really did not like that unit. There was a lot of stupid games, and like I said, it depends a lot on the leadership and who's in charge. You know, they just did things they didn't need to do, and it was a ridiculous time. We stayed at work way later than we needed to, and I felt like we didn't accomplish much. They did some training things, and it just was a waste of time in my mind. Some of the training stuff was good, but they didn't do it often enough for it to stick in anybody's mind, really. Luckily, I only stayed there a few months before I deployed with a sister company in actually that same unit, but I attached to a different company, and the deployment was a whole lot different than life in the other side or in the other company. I'll probably make a video talking about deployment life, but as far as just normal day-to-day life, most of the time if you're unmarried, you're going to be put in the barracks. Marine barracks are notoriously much worse than any other branch's barracks, except for possibly Navy. Sometimes they have pretty bad ones too. But almost every base is going to have a pool. Ours in my base in Okinawa was only open half the time, but there were bases really close by that had pools. They're most of the time Olympic-sized swimming pools, so you can work out that way. They all have gyms. Most of your barracks have a really tiny gym that's almost like a hotel gym in them, but it's good if it's really bad weather and you just want to work out really quick. Uh, they almost all have some sort of store. The first base I was at was Fatema in Okinawa. They had just basically like a convenience store and a Subway and some cheap pizza place. So we had to go to other bases for like the grocery store or any like normal day-to-day needs. But most bases also have a movie theater. They're not going to necessarily play the newest things, and they might only have one actual screen, but most of them do have a theater. So realistically, a lot of the time you don't need to leave your base, but if you're in the Marine Corps, obviously, and you're traveling, you want to go out and see everything. I didn't get to do a lot of college classes. Some people were able to get an associate's or even a bachelor's degree in their 4-year enlistment, which I think is awesome. I just didn't have a lot of time. If you have, like I said, one of the jobs that's a desk job, you may be able to actually get a whole bachelor's degree paid for while you're in, and I really encourage you to. I was able to take a few classes, but not really that many. Other than that, I mean, most units you're going to wake up at least 3 days a week. You're going to have to get up early before work, and you're going to go work out. Most of the time they're going to do an entire battalion run where there's a few hundred people out there and you're all going a 5-mile run together. They'll do other things like that. You're going to do different classes. The classes are terrible. They have, it's just because they do repetition. There's good content, but you do the same class so many times. It's supposed to be once a year, but you end up taking it like 5 times a year. So, you know, I would be like, oh, I already took that class already. And they're like, too bad, you're going again. But you have to take classes every year on sexual harassment, sexual assault, preventing those things in people. Suicide awareness, that is a big one in the military. There is a high suicide rate. People are away from their families and they're stressed out all the time. You just take classes on STDs, health and nutrition, just all these things that are required for you to take every year. There's also other classes that some of them actually count for college credit. They're called MCIs. It's from the Marine Corps Institute. You have to take a certain number of those to get all your points for promotion. I actually barely did any of them, but somehow I still got promoted pretty fast. I don't know. You have to keep certain fitness standards while you're active duty. If you don't keep those, you're going to have a really bad time. And once a year, you have to go out to the range, and you'll have a class from somebody like me for the first 5 days, and then you're going to spend 5 days shooting. It's a blast. I love it. Most people hate it, but it's because the Marine Corps makes it terrible. But I loved it. Shooting's my thing. You have to do the gas chamber once a year, which I talked about in the boot camp video. Honestly, the gas chamber is not that bad, and it's not as bad in the Fleet Marine Corps as it is in boot camp. I enjoyed every time I went to do the gas chamber. Most units will let you do things like the rappel tower and obstacle courses at least once a year, if not more. But really, that's about it that I can think off the top of my head to share with you guys about what life in the Marine Corps is like. If you have any specific questions, please comment below and ask them, and I'll answer you as soon as I can. I do want to know what you guys are curious about Marine Corps life, so I do want to answer those questions for you and help you out in your journey any way I can. Please like this video and then subscribe to my channel to get more videos like this, and let me know if you want me to make any videos about certain topics. Have a great day.